Well, hello there, guys, and welcome to our preview stream of Check Your Six. We're going to be taking a look here in a few minutes. I'm absolutely loving this game. I've had a lot of fun here. And we're basically just doing a preview today, so we'll take a look at a few missions. We don't want to give away too much. We want you guys to experience, some of this on your own. But let's see how far we get. We're actually going to be starting with the Battle of Britain, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to be able to win a few victories. Hey, Dogs of War, good to see you, man. Dave says no, give away much. Oh no, you guys just get a taste today, and it is a really fun game. I'm wondering how many people here at the stream have actually played the actual board game of Check Your Six, which of course this game is based on. I would love to get into it, but I don't know of anyone here in Portugal that also plays Check Your Six. Probably have to go to some sort of game club, something like that. But yeah, I would love to get into it. Although I think I would probably have a German setup, if anything. It's like the game didn't even start game. Thank you, Dogs of War. Very cool. All right, guys, we are going to jump in. I think it's fair that we start a minute early. Early bird catches the worm, that whole deal. So, first of all, I do want to let everybody know that Check Your Six is based off of a board game of the same name. Basically a miniature game, but in this case involving airplanes, particularly World War II era airplanes. Now, we have a lot of really cool features in the game. One thing I am going to say is that if you're going to play this game, you absolutely want to check out the game rules right here. You can also check out the tutorial in the single player section. Now, currently I have the game in windowed mode just so that I can pop out and occasionally look at what you guys are saying. But for the most part, you can also do, full screen, anything you like, essentially. I highly recommend you take a look at the tutorial. It's very helpful for beginners. And certainly helped me a lot, and I would suggest doing the tutorial mission first. Today we're not going to put you through the tutorial mission because, I don't think anybody really likes to watch a tutorial. Well, occasionally they like to watch mine. I'll pat myself on the back there. Yes, the Achtung Spitfire game. I have not heard of Achtung Spitfire. Van, that's a good question. I don't actually know the answer to that. So far, that's what I've seen, but I'm not sure if there are plans to add more nations, etc. So we're going to jump right in, guys, to the campaign. And I don't really want to continue my campaign because I've already actually done some as the Allies, but we'll jump here. So, as you can see here, in the early evening of 11th May 1940, Flight Number 1 Squadron based at Berry-au-Bac during the campaign in France scrambled 5 Hurricanes to intercept a Luftwaffe bombing formation heading for Rheims. Or is it Rheims? Rheims? I'm terrible with French pronunciation. Led by Flight Lieutenant, or Flight Lieutenant if you're from the UK, Johnny Walker, the Hawker Hurricanes maneuvered undetected above and behind the Raiders, which consisted of Dornier Doe 17Zs, of KG-76 and BF-110s. So these are essentially, these are both bombers that we're going after. But our goal here is to destroy at least 3 of them. And as you can see here, I've already destroyed those 3. But I'm definitely going to go ahead and take a look at the mission for you guys. I'm going to play this mission again. So let's go ahead and see what happens, guys. We're going to go ahead and hit play. Now, obviously, we are going to be playing with the British over here on the left side. We've got a hurricane, or 2 hurricanes, I should say, and I think we actually have a few more planes as well that should show up once the game begins. Now, if you take a look at the left side over here, you can see that each of these planes has a rank. So there's up to 5 ranks, one being basically you just take some farmer and put him inside of a hurricane and hope for the best, and 5 being an ace pilot. Being an ace pilot also gives you, a few additional things you can do with your plane. You can get a few additional skills. You can fly a little bit faster. You can shoot a little bit more accurately, etc. So we're going to be going after these guys, but remember, we're trying to take out the DO-17Zs. That's really our goal. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Ooh, those propellers. Okay, so initially we have the setup phase of the game. There's a few things I want to go over here that are going to be very important to understanding the game in general. If you take a look, let's say I just select this plane right here, this Hawker Hurricane, and actually it's going to be easier to show you guys this one once we actually start as opposed to the setup phase, so I'll do that. Right now we're just going to do the setup phase. This red basically lets you know the distance that this Hawker Hurricane can shoot. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the Hawker Hurricane and I'm going to put one right there. I'm going to take this guy right here, this Hawker Hurricane, and I am going to put him over here. All right, so I'm going to kind of make just basically a very basic standard formation with all of these guys basically next to each other. Now, in Check Your 6, there's a lot of ways to lose a plane, and there's a lot of ways to take planes out. One of the ways to lose a plane or to take enemy planes out is obviously to shoot them down. But another way to make that happen is to actually fly off the map. If you fly off the map, which you can absolutely do mistakenly, or if you do a very steep or sharp turn, then you also will lose your plane. So keep that in mind. If you want to try and take the enemy out, it's not such a bad idea to try and kind of force them off the map as best you can. So let's go ahead. This is just the unit placement phase. You can obviously use this right here to toggle all the different planes. And ooh, look at that. We have another Hurricane. Okay, I didn't use that one when I first played. So here we go. So 5 Hawker Hurricanes. And if you take a look right here, if you look next to the Hurricane icon there, you can actually see the rank of the pilot. The left lets us know the altitude. So this is the altitude of the plane, which is 6. And this on the right lets us know the speed of the plane, which is traveling at 3. You can also take a look at the veterancy of the pilot by just looking at the left right here. Right now, we don't have any aces. The best we have is a veteran, which is essentially a 2 out of 5. Let's take a look here. And yes, please do vote for our user stream. That would be awesome, guys. Quadriga. Let's go ahead and take a look here. And you can also see the kind of weapons your plane has. So in this case, if we select this Hawker Hurricane, we can see that we've got this machine gun right here. If you have a bomber, for instance, you might actually see 4 machine guns pop up. And that basically lets you know how many weapons are on your plane that you can use. And remember, in a bomber's case, we're not flying bombers right now, but the enemy will be. They're going to have a machine gun on the bottom of the plane. They're going to have a machine gun on the front of the plane, on top, and behind. So it's not at all, strange if you select a bomber and you see 4 machine guns. It also allows you to fire in many more different directions than just the standard Hurricane. That being said, I would not suggest going after fighters with a bomber. Okay, let's go ahead and end this phase. So as you guys can see, we're going to go up here and you can see all of the enemy planes, and there's a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them. You can also go ahead and look around the map like this, getting beautiful views. Basically, just however you want to look at the game, you can do it. Now, if we want to take a look at the enemy's altitude, we simply have to click on this plane, and we can see he's at 4. Now, we're at 6, so that means we're above these guys, and he's at 2 speed. Now, if you want to attack an enemy plane, the rule is, altitude-wise, you can only be 1 point away, which is to say if we're at 3, 4, or 5, we can shoot this guy. But if we're at 6 or 1, there's no way we can shoot this guy. Another way to lose a plane in this game is to basically just push your plane's engine to the max and cause it to basically spiral out of control. Remember, these are propeller planes. They're not the modern jets we have today, although they're still very good planes. So you can't do, absolutely insane maneuvers if you don't have an ace pilot. It's just not going to work, and you're going to end up wrecking your plane. So in this case, I'm keeping things pretty stable. I'm not even going to change the altitude, but I do want to show you guys this feature that I absolutely love. As you see right here, we actually have a proper plane wheel. And if you just click it, you can go ahead and drag it however you like, and go ahead and basically plan the maneuver of your plane. Now, in this case, we're just going to fly a straight pattern, but since those guys are at 4 altitude, I do want to start lowering my altitude. Now, on the left here, we have the altimeter. That, of course, determines your altitude, and on the right here, we have the speedometer, which, of course, determines your speed. Now, sometimes you simply can't go below a certain speed or can't go above or below a certain height, depending on your plane, depending on the skill of your pilot, etc. For instance, if I try to go to -2 here, well, it's not going to work. I can, however, increase my speed to +1, but, got to be careful when you're increasing your speed. You don't want to fly right past the enemy. We also want to keep in mind that the enemy we're taking out, we want to focus specifically on the Dorniers. These are the ones we really want to kill, despite the fact that a lot of the other bombers are actually quite powerful, and we also have some Messerschmitts, Messerschmitt bombers in this case, to contend with. This is not a Messerschmitt fighter plane, but it's still a nasty little plane. So, again, we're focusing on those Dorniers. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to lower the altitude here for this guy as well, just by 1. Okay. I didn't want to do this until we got right up close and personal, but I think we should. Go ahead and do that. Now, this guy right here, if we select him, we can see he's a skilled pilot, and he does have this ability over here to basically increase a hex and move 1 extra hex with his movements. We're not going to be touching upon this bottom part on this particular stream. We're kind of going to ignore it. But suffice it to say, the more experienced your pilots get, you do get occasionally some extra skills down here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to, once again, -1. And I'm going to select these guys, -1. And the same with this guy. So I'm really not changing the actual flight path all that much. Okay, you can see the enemy has moved, and it is the enemy's movement segment. Now remember what I told you guys about altitude. You absolutely have to be at a proper altitude to start taking on the enemy planes. This guy's at 5. Let's take a look at those planes. He's at 4, so yes, we should be able to shoot him. If we're 1 above or 1 below, we should absolutely be able to shoot him. Now what I think I'm going to do, hello, welcome to the channel. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this guy just a little bit. And actually, I was going to say I want to increase his speed, but that's not an option right here. Again, a lot depends on the skill of your pilot, etc., or just the plane itself. In this case, increasing speed is not a viable option. And I'm going to let these other 3 guys focus on the enemy over here. So let's go ahead and take a look once again. Wouldn't mind decreasing altitude once more. Let's do it over here too. Decrease altitude once more, and the same with this guy. Now, for those of you that are not aware, one of the parts of Check Your Six is die rolls, rolling dice. So once we actually start engaging the enemy here, that's actually going to come into play. You can see here with our Hurricane, since we turned him, he's actually, of course, turned to reflect the way that we basically position the rudder. And actually, if you look closely, you can see that the altitude is lower, but I would say this, never trust your eyes on this game. Make sure that you're taking a look at the enemy planes and make absolutely sure that your altitude either matches theirs or is 1 below or 1 above. This guy definitely has to drop a bit, so I'm going to bring him down to over here. And you can see right there, it's actually showing me where he's going to drop to. And this guy, I'm going to go and turn the rudder just a little bit more, and we're going to start facing those enemy planes as well. I want to see he's at 5, so I think he should be able to hit the enemy plane, but you know what? I feel a little more comfortable just dropping down just a little bit more at the expense of losing some speed. So with these guys, this is a little more challenging because we have one of those Dorniers right in front of us, so I'm thinking I don't necessarily want to change my flight path here. I might just go ahead and keep things the way they are. With this guy, yeah, I think we'll probably go ahead and turn him just a bit, like this. And I'm actually going to lower his speed because I'm assuming that this guy is going to be pretty slow as well, so we'll be able to catch him in basically a perfect shootout. So let's go ahead and the turn. Here come the Dorniers, boys and girls. Okay, our Hurricane is on the way. Now, once we actually get into combat, the combat phase will begin. As you can see right here, we now know that this Hurricane can target either this plane right here or this plane over here. And both of them actually are at 42% chance of getting hit. And I'm actually going to target this Dornier because I know that my plane over here can also target that Dornier. So I think we have a much better chance of taking it out. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and target Now, make absolutely sure that you selected the plane, and it will actually be in the crosshairs here. I think you guys can see that, so you know for sure that you're firing at that plane. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next targeting phase. Unfortunately, this Spitfire, or excuse me, this Hurricane, shame on me, is not close enough to target the enemy. But look at that. This guy's right in front of us. 83% chance. I'm definitely going to fire. Okay, let's see if anybody else has any firing to do. Oh, nice. We got very lucky. So, yes, we can target that plane, although only with a 28% chance to hit, which is not great. But you know what? I would take your chances in this game. I really, really would. This guy, this Hurricane, 17%. Yeah, it's not very good, but beggars can't be choosers. So, we're definitely going to take it. And this Hurricane, I'm going to actually have him target this guy right here. Hit chance 58%. So now, of course, we have the die rolls coming into effect. And once again, with the camera, you can have a lot of fun just basically looking around here. And we're going to see how our boys do. So let's end the turn. All right, so as you can see up there on top, you can actually see the die roll. We missed, unfortunately, no damage at all. This guy we missed as well. These are some very, very lucky German bombers. I will say that. Come on. Nice. So there we actually hit the enemy airframe, and now the enemy's actually returning fire. Don't forget that these bombers also have machine guns of their own. They're certainly not as effective as our machine guns, but you still have to be careful. So far, the attacks have missed, and we haven't had any real serious damage done to either plane or any of our planes, to be fair. I think both us and the enemy got away scot-free on that one. Now, I'm going to keep things as they are. I think we still have a chance of taking down one of these Dorniers. I'm not going to be changing my flight path, with the only exception being with this Hurricane, I'm going to lower the speed because he's getting really close to this guy, and I believe we're at the same exact altitude. I'm not sure if planes can crash into each other. I haven't gotten to that point in the game, but I think they probably can. So I'm going to go ahead and try to dip here a bit, if possible, and go right underneath him. Let's take a look over here. I know for sure that enemy planes can crash into each other. That's for sure. Take a look here at the chat. Wow, 78 viewers. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you guys. Hello, Mudchuk and Scutari, everybody else. Let's see. So Xyloram is saying it's like a Wing Leader war game on 3D. I've never checked it out. It's definitely something I want to take a look at some point. So like I said, I'm going to keep things as they are. I'm not changing really much except for this one Hurricane. And as you can see, this guy, he's got some smoke coming out of him. And if you are damaged, then you're going to have to do a roll, especially if your airframe is on fire. And that could eventually result in your plane being completely destroyed. With this Hurricane, I am going to... I'll just keep him the way he is. And let's end the turn. So hopefully we still get in the combat phase. Now keep in mind, they're going to move and we're going to move, so we might actually shoot right past the enemy here, as you can see. We might not get the opportunity to target the same plane, but of course we can always turn around eventually and target that plane. Now I don't believe that that is the plane I'm looking for. I don't think so. No, that's one of the Messerschmitts, one of the Messerschmitt bombers. So I'm not exactly really keen on attacking this guy. But you know what? It's better than nothing. Let's do that. Let's move to this plane. Wow. Okay, now this guy can target just about anybody he wants. And I'm a little concerned at how close these Spitfires are. That being said, we're going to keep on targeting. Let's go for this one right here. This guy, we're going to go for that same plane. Again, you know, the more damage we put on a plane, the more likely we are to take it down. Okay? And remember, this is the combat phase. So don't worry about movement until the combat phase is over. Let's go ahead. Wish us luck. All right, nope, no damage inflicted. No damage inflicted there either. Now the BF-110s are going to fire, and one of the toughest parts of the game, at least in my opinion, is now that we have some enemy planes that have gotten past us, we're going to have to turn our planes around to start tailing them. And the problem with that is it's not that easy to turn a propeller plane around like in the movies. It just doesn't work that way. You know, it takes time, and by the time that we actually accomplish that, these guys could be long gone. They could be, you know, really, really far past us, and then we have an entirely different problem. So here we go. They're still firing at us. Luckily, they're just as bad shots as we are. I'm going to go ahead, and with this guy, I'm actually going to turn. So as you can see, I can execute a full turn here, okay? It's a little risky, but, you know, as long as we're able to do it, we're fine. I'm not going to mess with the altitude or the speed. Just going to try and execute a full turn and basically get behind these planes. Now, obviously, with a bomber aircraft, probably the best place to shoot it is wherever the engine is, which would, in this case, I think would be the propellers, the engines over here on either side of the plane. Being behind an enemy plane with a bomber, I do believe makes some difference. That being said, whenever you're fighting a bomber plane, you know, you're going to be having somebody shooting at you, either from the back, the front, the bottom, the top, etc. You're not going to be able to avoid that. Let's take a look here at these guys. So we've got this Spitfire here, this Hurricane, excuse me. And believe me, despite what the movies tell you, people were generally, people would take the Hurricane. The Hawker Hurricane is actually a very, very good plane. It really is. Let's take a look here with this guy. I think I'm going to go ahead, use that rudder to move him around as well. So all of these guys are going to be turning around. And again, this is not an easy maneuver. In fact, I don't feel very comfortable doing it, but we're going to go for it. I wanted to increase my speed, but since we're doing all that turning, there's no way we're going to be able to increase speed. We could increase or decrease altitude, but there's really no point right now. So let's just hope that we get another shot. And specifically, I'd love to get a shot on this guy. Keep in mind also, now that he's damaged and looks like he's on fire, he could end up being destroyed by the end of this game anyway. So let's go ahead and end. Now, of course, the enemy does their movement first, and then we do our movement. I like the little turning there, but see, now we're getting wrapped up with a lot of enemy Messerschmitts, and we're not going for the Messerschmitts. We're going for the Dorniers. So let's go ahead, and there we go. 12. Is it 12 or 72? Nice. Okay, I'll take that. I like that a lot. What about this guy? And once again, we're going for the Dorniers, and these are all Messerschmitt bombers. So not too helpful, but better to shoot at something, right? So let's go ahead. We'll target this one. And with our Hawker Hurricane, we are going to target the Dornier over here. And with this Hurricane, we're going to target the Dornier as well. I'm pretty sure that's a Dornier. I'm not 100% though. And now, of course, we roll, guys, and hope for the best. Here we go. Oh, we hit the airframe. Some pretty serious airframe damage there. No damage, unfortunately, on that plane. Hey, we hit the engine, boys and girls. That's what I'm talking about. We hit the airframe. Hey, things are looking pretty cool. We might actually manage to take down some of these guys. So you can see that guy's smoking. You can see his left engine is just sparking. It doesn't look like he's going to be making it back to good old Deutschland. It's not looking very good for that pilot at all. They are going to try to return fire, but once again, the bomber pilots generally are not as good a shot as we are. Also keep in mind that, you know, their focus is bombing. Our focus is basically chasing the enemy. Although, occasionally, if you have an enemy pilot that's quite a high rank, even in a bomber, you better be careful, because he could absolutely do some serious damage to your planes. And once again, you can just take a look on top to see that roll. Ooh, yeah, that guy does not look good. Okay, so now this is interesting. Now, this really only matters with multiplayer. Basically, we have a weapon jam, okay? If we say, now let's say we roll and to check to make sure our weapons are jammed, we're going to get an option, which is going to say, do you want to reveal this roll to your opponent? Of course, in this case, we're facing an AI enemy, and yes, there is multiplayer in the game, so I know a lot of you guys will be excited about that. So we're just going to go ahead and just say no. We're not going to check for a weapons jam, or we will. Failure, do you want to keep the roll secret? Again, it doesn't make a big difference if we're facing the AI, so I'm just going to say yes. Why not, right? Okay, do you want to make a roll check for a weapons jam? Ooh, 2 of our planes experiencing some weapons difficulties. Okay. Okay, just a jam roll failed. Do I want to keep the roll secret? Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. We're still chasing the same guys here, but now that they're a little farther away, you know, we're going to have to speed up a bit to catch up to them, I think. And unfortunately, we can't speed up yet. We could, however, jump up in altitude, and eventually that's going to give us some energy to increase our speed. If you see right there the ending speed 0, you never want that to happen. That's when your plane spirals out of control and you go crashing. So if you get a message saying ending speed 0, that essentially means that you've put your plane in such a position that he's going to have absolutely no power to keep moving, and he's just going to basically fall from the sky. So we've got to fix that ending speed 0, and we've got to fix it quick. I'm going to go ahead and go to speed here, and I think, yeah, we're just not going to be able to really mess with our speed too much. You see? No, that definitely is not going to work. Okay? So let's just keep chasing him. Let's just hope that we get close enough to hit him. As for this hurricane, I'm going to turn a bit as well. I would love to increase the speed, but I don't think we can. However, here we can increase the altitude. So we'll increase the altitude, gain a little bit more power, and then come down on the enemy, hopefully. Again, things don't always go the way you plan them, but, you know, you've got to hope for the best. On this guy, I'm definitely going to increase speed because I want to catch that Dornier right there. And on this hurricane, I think all I want to do with this guy is just turn to the enemy. Yeah, something like that. Not even going to mess with the speed. This guy, I'm also going to turn towards the enemy. And you can actually see over here, before our rudder, the entire thing here was black, which meant that we could, you know, we could go to any of these areas. But now with these two red marks, this basically lets us know that currently we can't basically turn all the way. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, that's very important. Let's go ahead and end the turn. I really want to get that Dornier. Okay, come on. Oh, we might be able to get a shot off. 72% on that smoking Dornier. This is a chance, guys. This is definitely a chance. Okay, over here, once again, the Dorniers are the priority, and I think right now these are all Messerschmitt bombers. Nonetheless, I'll go ahead and fire on that Messerschmitt bomber. And this guy, yeah, why not? And once again, this guy's already targeting the enemy there, so we don't have to worry about him. We just have to hope for the best. Here we go, guys. All right, no damage inflicted there. Now, this is absolutely a game of skill, but, you know, part of the game, it's also a game of luck. In this case, we rolled pretty poorly, and we just didn't manage to get a shot off. Nonetheless, those damaged planes, the ones that are smoking, they may still go down, especially the guy with the engine damage. He might just end up crashing. And there are absolutely crash animations in the game, so when a plane gets hit, you'll actually see it spiraling down and exploding on the terrain down below. Look at that smoking engine. Now it's turning black. I think that guy's going to go down before the end, but if he manages to basically stay above ground, I'm very, very impressed. I will say that. So I want to definitely increase my speed with my hurricane here. We want to chase this guy. We don't want to stop chasing him until he's dead. And we're going to do the same here. We want to increase our speed. We want to catch up to those bombers. Let's take a look here. Hello, welcome to the channel. Here, we're also going to increase our speed once again. And once again, another very important thing, if this is blacked out, so the +2, +3, it simply means your plane is not capable of increasing speed to that level right now. Now, that could change later. So, for instance, if you have a high altitude, you might be able to increase that speed on a descent or something like that. Take a look at this guy, and I don't like his positioning at all. So I'm going to increase speed, but I'm not really going to mess with his positioning too much. I might turn just a little bit, but even that's kind of risky. I think I'll just keep him going the way he's going. Now, this is where some problems can happen. Remember what I told you guys. If your plane flies off the map, you lose that plane. So we don't want to keep flying in this direction consistently. We eventually want to turn. For instance, this hurricane, I don't like the position he's in at all, so I'm going to try to turn, but see, turning over here in the red zone is going to put my ending speed at 0, which, you guessed it, is going to cause the imminent death of my pilot. So let's actually just keep it right here in the center. Let's lower the speed here. I'm just going to have to turn very carefully. I think we'll have to do it little by little. And I can actually increase my... No, we're not going to increase altitude. All right, let's try that. It's not my favorite situation, but I'll take it. So as you can see, these guys are flying ahead of us, and we are trying to catch up. It's going to be very important here if we want to complete the mission. Okay, here we go. And once again, it doesn't look like we're going to get a shot at the actual bombers. We're going to have to focus on the Messerschmitts. So let's focus here at this one. Oh, actually, 83%. How could I not fire on that thing? All right, we'll fire on that Messerschmitt. And this hurricane, again, I'd love him to chase these bombers, but, you know, right now we're in the shooting phase. We're going to have to worry about chasing bombers in the movement phase. So right now, these are the only two guys that can fire, and let's hope for the best. Oh, come on. He was so close as well. And yes, distance definitely makes a difference. So obviously your roll doesn't have to be as good if you're very close to the enemy plane or if your speed matches theirs, etc. But in that case, we just didn't get very lucky. Oh, they hit our airframe, guys. That Hurricane is in serious trouble. Very serious trouble. So they finally got a lucky hit. Let's see if... Ooh, he might be going down very soon. Okay, we're going to keep this up. I am going to increase the speed of the plane, of course, as best I can. And for this plane, I am going to try to turn him. And I'd love to increase the speed, but that's going to take some time. Yeah, we definitely can't do ending speed 0, so let's do that. 1, 2... Okay, I like this. I like this so far. And this might actually put us in range of the enemy. Might put us in range of the enemy, mind you. Let's see. Do this as well. They're trying to confuse us with all of those Messerschmitt bombers when those are not our main targets, really. I think this guy's doing okay. I wouldn't mind climbing up a little bit, so... Unfortunately, climbing up a little bit is going to put us at ending speed 0, which we can't do, as mentioned before. That's imminent death. You know, you just can't control a plane at that point. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yes, one of our Hurricanes, guys, the one that got hit, you can see here, he was destroyed. You can actually see the red X through his plane. The bomber got that lucky shot and absolutely destroyed that plane. So let's go ahead and end the turn. Come on. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Hurricane's going to be able to catch up to one of the Dorniers. And you know what? That's good enough for me. Come on, 58%. Lucky dice, boys. Look at the enemy's going to actually be getting some shots here before us. Hopefully they miss the rest of their shots. That's going to be important. Okay, here we go. So at this point, guys, we can declare turn and maneuver information. We can climb, we can dive, we can go right, we can go left. In this case, I'm just going to go forward, and I'm going to keep my maneuver completely level. Just completely level. This particular concept of declaring your turn and maneuver information is a little more advanced, and we may touch upon it in a future tutorial. It's not as simple as just saying, oh yeah, that's what I want to do, that's a great idea. You really have to think it through, depending on whether you have a plane tailing you, depending on how badly damaged your plane is, etc. In this case, we could see our guy smoking, and he's not looking too good. He's not looking too hot. So let's go ahead and end. We still have the Hurricane. I'd love to increase that speed, and thankfully it looks like we can. And this guy, we definitely want to turn and try to hit this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and turn a bit, and I think that's, yeah, I'm fine with that. This guy, as you can see, since he's smoking, look at all of the lack of things we can do here. Everything is red. I mean, essentially, this plane is almost, totally unmaneuverable. If we try to turn here, if we try to turn here, he's going to fall right out of the sky. He is not in a very good place right now. That's just the sad truth. So we will increase speed here. Remember, we increased our altitude, so we can now increase our speed a bit as well. And we could even increase our altitude a bit more, but I don't see the point. I think, unfortunately, here, the enemy has probably gotten away for the most part. So let's end the turn. Come on, Hurricane, you can get him. Okay, here we go. Only 28% chance. Airframe! We got him, boys. We got his airframe. This guy is in very bad shape. And I think maybe, just maybe, he's going to be going down. Oh boy, they hit our engine, and also our pilot was wounded. And yes, your pilot can absolutely be wounded. So that Hurricane's day just went from bad to worse. He's definitely not doing well, poor guy. And there you go. There's that plane. Look at that, guys. Down. My goodness. So that was actually one of our planes and one of the enemy planes. So actually 2 planes going down right there. There was no way that guy was going to be able to keep it up. But that bomber that we fired at, he went down. We finally took him down. Now, I'd love to chase the rest of the enemy here, but I think they're a bit too far away. I'm going to do everything I can, though, to try and catch up with them. One of the ways to do that is actually to increase my altitude and get above them, and then I can increase my speed and, of course, eventually descend on top of the enemy here. It definitely helps to have some knowledge about the actual techniques used during World War II by both sides to kind of know exactly what you want to do. Now, I'm going to go ahead and actually try to increase my altitude with this guy and decrease my speed slightly. This guy I'm just going to keep on a level course, and I hope that he can catch the enemy here. Let's end the turn. I'm so annoyed that that one guy is going to get away, because he's smoking, but he's still going to get away. We'll jump into the chat and see what you guys think of the crashing so far, but let's let the enemy do their attack phase first. Okay, let's jump here. Thank you, Lord Zima. So, yes, manual is in the works. Very cool. Very, very cool. Ha 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 ha, Kandra. Yes, absolutely, Lord Zima. And as I was mentioning here, they're, especially for the veteran pilots, they get those abilities to do the more complex maneuvers, etc. Right now, the pilots that we're using in this particular battle are basically level 1 and level 2s. So I think skilled is 1 and veteran is 2. The way I always like to think of it is the skilled is actually just some guy they found on a farm outside Lincolnshire, and they're just like, just get in the plane, please. Just please get in the plane. Do your best. But as that level improves, then so do your pilots, and so do these skills that you can, of course, master. So let's go ahead and end the turn here. Unfortunately, I think the enemy is going to get away. Now, I want to remind you guys that, destroying an enemy by shooting him is not the only way to destroy an enemy plane. If you can force an enemy to take evasive maneuvers that take him off the map away from his intended course, so for instance to the east or the west in this case, you can also destroy the enemy. Definitely want to keep that in mind. So once again, we are being tailed here. I don't like that. I'm actually going to turn right, and I'm going to dive. So hopefully this is going to be enough to save my Hurricane. Here I'm going to increase my speed, try to catch up with the enemy, but unfortunately I think they're just a little too far for us to get there. We're still going to try, though. Oh boy, we are surrounded by Messerschmitts. And they just hit the engine. That guy is in trouble. It's not looking good for the RAF today, my friends. Ooh, plane exploded right there. I think we may have just gotten lucky. That plane that was trailing smoke may have just, yes, oh my goodness, we got it. We got the Allied victory, and that was pure luck based. I mean, essentially, that guy's plane was trailing smoke for quite a while, and eventually, I think, the engine probably caught fire, and he just blew right up. That was beautiful. He didn't even crash. He just exploded, which is absolutely wonderful. Yes, Sandy, I think you're right. I think there is a 0. You can get up to the game rules during the game, says Lord Zemo. Absolutely. There's also a manual, but as Lord Zemo here is saying, they're still working on that. That's in the works. There is a tutorial as well for the more basic aspects of the game. Wait, what? Not fair, says Kendra. Oh, it's fair. Hey, war's never fair. It's the way I like to see it. So we're going to continue here. Now, I am going to go ahead. Remember, I told you guys this is just a preview. And it wouldn't be very fair for me to show you a bunch of different battles. But maybe we can show you one more, okay? So, our objectives. As the Blitzkrieg raged on, the Allies realized that the Axis advance must be slowed to allow time to regroup and launch a counterattack in an attempt to disrupt the supply line through the Low Countries. The Low Countries, the Netherlands, etc. The RAF targeted the Vroonhoven and Veldsveld bridges across the Albert Canal near Maastricht. On 12 May 1940, volunteer ferry battle crews from the No. 12 Squadron began a desperate mission to drop the bridges. Hurricanes of No. 1 Squadron escorted the vulnerable battles. Due to their strategic value, the bridges were ringed with hundreds of mobile AA batteries. Ouch. So, and again, I have not played this mission. But from what I understand, we are going to be protecting bombers on their way to destroy these bridges. So this is probably going to be a protection mission. And actually, we've got some battles here. So look at that. Impossible mission. Oh my goodness. That's not a good start. The enemy have some fighter planes here. And as you can see, some of these guys, the 3 rank guys here, etc., some of these guys are veterans. They've definitely seen combat before. And we can also see the enemy has some light AA. Now, I have not had to deal with anti-aircraft guns yet. So I'm a little scared. I'll be absolutely honest with you. Let's go ahead and get started, guys. Okay, there's that light AA gun. Ooh, I don't like it. Oh, interesting. So I think we're actually playing as the Germans on this one, if I'm not mistaken. We might be playing as the Germans, my friends. We'll have to see. That would be fun. Oh, yeah. We've got some Messerschmitts here, BF 109s. Oh, this is pretty cool. Okay, so let's take a look here. Now, remember, our goal is to protect the bridges, right? That's the main goal here as far as I can tell. I'm trying to actually select placement here for the unit placement phase. And I think right now we definitely don't want him flying off, so I'm just going to basically have him going this way. We'll have this guy going this way. I'm not sure why it's not letting me place. I understand now. So essentially, we can only select placement basically along this green line right here. That lets you know where placement can happen. Let's go ahead and turn that Messerschmitt this way. This guy's doing just fine. This guy, I want him to turn this way as well. And I must say, I mentioned before, or asked before, how many of you guys play the miniature game. But if I was to play the miniature game, I would play as the Germans merely because of the fact that I love the Messerschmitt. So let's take a look here at the altitude of the enemy. They're at 5. The Hurricanes are at 5. But I think really our main enemy is going to be the battles. We want to take them out. They're the ones with the ability to bomb those bridges. If we take a look at our guy here, the BF 109, we're at 6. So since we're only 1 altitude away, we should be able to hit these guys. That being said, I think I want to probably drop to 5 after the unit placement phase. So let's go for it. Okay, what to do. Interesting. All right, I'm going to drop down a little bit. I'm going to do... Actually, with the BF-109, I'm not going to drop at all. Not with this one, anyway. Let's go ahead. And with this one, I am going to actually increase my altitude a bit. Ooh, cloud border. I have not dealt with that yet, but I don't want to put my plane in jeopardy, so I'm actually going to keep him just flying this way. As for these guys, we'll keep them flying towards the enemy, of course. There's not much we can do here. We can certainly go ahead and increase or decrease altitude, though, and I think decreasing altitude right now, basically coming in for that dive attack, is not a bad idea. So we'll keep one guy on regular altitude. This guy, we're going to bring down to -1, okay? Let's end the turn. Let's get these Brits. Aircraft confusion, 180-degree turn. Like I said, I mean, there's so many surprises in the game. Right there, the crew just got completely confused as to what they were doing, and they did a 180-degree turn. And many times, those evasive maneuvers with a crew that's not exactly skilled could mean the end of that crew. Let's take a look here. Now, a 0% chance to hit. That's no fun. 0%? Really? Oh, that's just no fun at all. Let's take a look here at the chat. Thank you very much, Lord Zamoa. So you can play both as the Allies and the Axis, depending on the mission, or I guess any mission, really. Let's see. Van Bishop says, what most games miss is that at the start of the war, the average experience of the fighter pilots was much higher than at the end of it. Wow, actually, I didn't know that. That is very cool. Try and trail a green pilot with your German aces, and you have a great speed advantage with your ME-109s. He's referring to the Messerschmitts, the ME-109s. Interesting. Okay. So we have a speed advantage for sure. And we also have some extra weaponry here on our ME-109. Remember, I explained to you guys initially when we were using the Hawker Hurricane, we just had that one machine gun. But now it looks like we've got another one here, which is pretty nice. An additional machine gun. And I'm going to use that one too to target this guy. So hopefully we're going to be able to get a hit here. Let's hope for the best, although our chances are pretty low. All right, now the Hurricanes are pretty dangerous. I mean, we're not fighting bombers anymore. We're fighting other fighter planes. So this could get ugly, without, to say the least. We've got to be very careful. Take a look here again what Lord Zamoa says. I believe Lord Zamoa is the developer here. Let's take a look. Cannon, yes, you're absolutely right, Mudjuk. It would be a cannon. You're absolutely right. So yeah, we're going to try to trail some enemy pilots, or tail some enemy pilots, and basically just stay behind them. And as Zemo was saying, with our Messerschmitts, we have a much better advantage in terms of speed. We go much faster than the enemy does. But my main concern is actually not the Hurricanes. My main concern are the battles. That's what we want to take out. The Hurricanes are just kind of a minor annoyance at this point. Let's do that. We're going to lower our altitude since we are approaching the target. And they're approaching the bridge. I'm actually going to turn that Messerschmitt this way. And I think we can lower it. This may not be safe, I'll be honest. I'm hoping that it is. But basically, we're turning and lowering our altitude. It's not exactly like a major maneuver, but, you know, I'm a little concerned. So let's go ahead and end the turn. So we might go tail that guy right there. Ooh, yeah, they're definitely coming right at us. There's no doubt about that. The Hurricanes are already opening fire. They are absolutely coming right at us. With this BF-109, I am going to try and turn just a bit. Actually, no, I'm going to keep on going. What I will do is I'll lower my altitude a bit. Remember, it's very important. If you've got 6 and the enemy has 4, you are not going to be able to reach them. It's just not going to happen. So your best bet is to basically get on their same altitude level, or be 1 above or 1 below. Let's take a look here. I think this guy's doing okay. I would lower his speed just a bit, because I kind of want that Hurricane to basically fly right into my flight path. I think that'll work. But let's take a look at his altitude. His is at 6, mine is at 5. Yeah, we should still be able to hit him, as long as we don't lower our altitude or anything like that. I'm very happy with that guy. Now, what about our AA guns? Now, the AA guns are totally new to me, so I think we're going to get an opportunity to possibly use them. That would be really, really cool. Okay, let's increase the speed here. As mentioned by Samoa, we definitely have that speed advantage, so we want to get up close and personal to the enemy as soon as possible. Here we go. You're still trailing that guy right there. I think we'll eventually catch him. We'll probably catch him on the same flight path, but only time will tell. Oh boy, things are getting very close. Okay, here we go. So 42% chance to hit this plane. Let's go ahead and do that. And I'm also going to select the machine gun. We use the cannon on top. We'll use the machine gun as well. And I'm going to target him as well with that. I think we're going to get a hit, but I can't promise you anything. Boom. Only 3% with the cannon, unfortunately, and 17% with the machine gun. And I think a lot of things go into why a certain plane or pilot is going to be proficient or not with his machine gun and cannon. And rank definitely has partly to do with that. In other words, if you have a level 5 veteran, he's going to be a much better shot than a level 1 guy. It's just the way things are. And he's got more experience. Ooh, okay. We already got that guy all set up. I was hoping to get one more attack, but I think that pilot is in serious trouble. Let's see. Actually, he managed to hit our airframe first. He got the first shot. We did hit his engine. Nice little trade-off here. We missed with the second plane, though. But, oh, look at that. Both planes are going down. Oh, that's beautiful. And I love the explosions in the game, too. It just adds that little, extra added effect of realism that you don't get when you play the board game. But those guys just basically killed each other. They just wiped each other out. Hey, it was a pretty cool dogfight, I must admit. See how these guys are doing, this BF-109. I really want to catch up to him. So I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start reducing my actual altitude here. Let me just make sure. We're at 4. He's at 3. Yeah, he's definitely below us. It looks like it. But again, I would say don't trust your eye on this game. Always select the enemy planes to make sure you are at the same altitude level, because I've tried to do it by eye, like this, just kind of like, that looks pretty close, and completely mess things up. So you don't want to do that. Let's turn this guy a little bit over here to the left, and let's hope for the absolute best. I'm actually going to turn this guy a little to the right. Yeah, let's do that. Ooh, we might get a shot here. I think they're going straight for the bridge as well, my friends. And I made a mistake here. Remember what I told you about flying off the map? If that plane flies off the map, he gets destroyed just by proxy, basically. So we now get to use the AA, and again, this is my first time using the AA in the game. I'm a bit excited. That's pretty cool. Only an 8% chance to hit, but honestly, that seems pretty realistic to me. When you consider the amount of flak being fired at enemy planes during World War II, it must have been just, you know, hundreds of millions of rounds. I'm not even sure of the numbers. You know, not every bit of flak is going to hit a plane. You'd have flak exploding all around you, and most of the time you were pretty safe. So 8% seems pretty fair. Seems pretty reasonable. Okay, let's see. Attack missed. That's too bad. Although our BF-109 is going to get a chance here. So we're going to fire with the cannon. Only a 3% chance. What about the machine gun? A 17% chance. You've got to take what you can get. That's what I say, you know? Here we go. So pretty small chances of being able to get a hit here. The thing I'm most concerned about is what I've done over here. This is a newbie mistake. Basically, if this guy flies off to the west, he's out. He's gone. Ooh, so sneaky, sneaky hurricanes trying to end our plans of world domination. I don't like it. You cannot stop the Messerschmitt. Let's see. Okay, I want a lower speed here. And I'll tell you why. I want to catch this guy as he's moving past me. So I'm actually lowering my speed. And oh yeah, look at that. See, board exit, crew check, -1. Not good. Not good at all. And I think I messed it up. I'm going to try to salvage it, but I'm pretty sure that plane is flying right off. At least you guys got to see a noob mistake, so that's the bonus. I think there's a chance, and I think the developer here could probably let me know that there might be a chance that we don't get sent off the map, but I think that we probably do. We probably get sent off. Okay. Let's see. See, the altitude there is at 3, and we are at 5. Yeah, we've got to get lower for sure. So let's lower our altitude by 1. And I'd like to turn a little bit towards the enemy. Wow, I don't know what just happened there. That was very strange. Grab that. I seem to have lost control of my engine. No! This is not good. Alright, 1 second, guys. Ah, thank you, Lord Zamoa. So there will be an aircrew check. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure what happened to my reticule here. Let's see, maybe I turned something off. Keep in mind, guys, the game is still in development here. So we could have a tiny little bug here. I'm going to try to save and jump right back in. So let's try to do that, because I don't want to lose our progress. Although, keep in mind that that mission is going to be saved one way or another. That's for sure. In other words, since we've completed that first mission, we're going to be able to save again. So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and close and try again. Good evening to you. Good to see you. When is the release of this game? Indeed. Thank you, Scutari. Now again, we are getting to very close to the end of this stream. This is a preview stream, and we don't want to give too much away. So we might go ahead and actually jump back in. Let me try and load the game. I think we've got an auto load if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to go ahead and load here. Hopefully we get that cursor back. Okay. I broke the game. I just broke the game. Okay, so with this guy, once again, I'm going to lower his speed because I want him to catch up to that guy right there. This guy, once again, an aircrew check as mentioned by the developer there, which is very cool, which means even if you do make a noob mistake like this, and this is an embarrassing noob mistake because flying off is one of the silliest ways to lose a plane, but there is a chance that I haven't completely failed there. There is a chance that he will return to the fight. With this guy, okay, so what we were trying to do is lower the distance here, and we can actually turn a bit towards the enemy, something like that. So we'll be flying basically right ahead of him. I tend to try to trail the enemy the same way you would if you had like a sniper rifle. You kind of want to trail the enemy. You want to be in front of where he's going, and you want to be firing, specifically you want to be firing in front of where he's going. We'll also go ahead, we'll lower our altitude, but that's also going to lower our speed by 1. So you got to keep that in mind. Certain sacrifices that you have to make to accomplish certain maneuvers. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, come on, come on, come on, you can do it, you can do it. No, 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 he left. He left. We're gonna have Goring talk to him about that. I'm not pleased. I'm not pleased. It's my own fault though. Let's go ahead, 8% there. So we have one chance with the AA guns, and again, it's a lot harder to get a shot with an AA gun, but hey, 8% is still 8%. Now, the attack missed, unfortunately, but we can also go ahead and fire with our beautiful, beautiful Messerschmitt, and I'm actually going to hit this guy really close to me. So the cannon actually has a 72% chance to hit here because we're so close to the enemy, and believe me, I mean, a machine gun does a lot of damage, but a cannon going through the side of a plane, this guy may not even survive. So I'm definitely going to try and go for that. Over here, we also have an opportunity to target these planes, and I have them exactly where I wanted them, guys. So see, they flew right into my flight path. This is exactly what I wanted. I think I want to fire at this guy. The reason being, if he gets past me, this guy might be too far away for me to continue following, but this guy is definitely going to be in my line of sight next turn as well. So let's go ahead. 28% chance. It's not huge, but hey, it's also not horrible. And we'll hit the Hawker Hurricane here with some cannon shot and some machine guns. All right, guys, wish us luck. Here we go. Oh, the engine is hit on our plane. That's not good. It's not smoking, though, so maybe we got lucky. Maybe the engine was not too badly damaged. That's a miss. Oh, that's a shameful miss is what it is. There we go. We hit their engine, too. Elevator destroyed. Debris. Oh, guys, that's hilarious. So just take a look over here. Look at these planes. Our plane is smoking. His plane is smoking. Another one of their planes are smoking. These three guys are all in some pretty big trouble. But I like to think that we actually came out of that pretty well. That was pretty cool. Let's go ahead and keep on moving. I'm going to keep things as they are for now. I will lower the speed once again on my Messerschmitt here, just because I want to catch the enemy planes. I'll also turn this Messerschmitt, something like that, yep. And I want to raise the speed. You could just put it at 0, but I'll take it. Okay, let's see what happens. I probably should have turned this guy as well. Okay, we got some more AA. Here, let's go for it. Come on. Counting on you guys. Airframe damage. Hey, not bad, guys. So we did manage to damage the airframe. Once again, I'm targeting that slacker in the back. Boom, 92%. I'm pretty sure we're going to take this guy out. And of course, we'll go ahead. We'll keep opening fire on the Hurricane here. One of these guys, or all of these guys, are going to go down one way or the other. And sure enough, our BF-109 over here can also go ahead and get a shot. Let's take, boom, and let's also use the machine gun. Now he's doubly dead. This guy's just not going to make it. Here we go, guys. What's a miss? These are enemy planes firing, mind you. So that's good. Airframe, guys. We definitely got a hit there. We hit the engine on the enemy plane there as well. I think there's going to be a crash. Now, we also hit the engine. Look at that. Look at him. He's going to go right. Please don't hit the bridge. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, beautiful. He didn't hit the bridge. I'm happy. And it looks like one of those hurricanes also went down. So we're still trailing black smoke, but yeah, we managed to take one out and probably take another one out. That being said, guys, we are now at the end of the stream. That's right. I hope you guys enjoyed the game. I have had so much fun. I want to thank Lord Zamoa, the developer here, for showing up and basically really assisting, checking out the stream. I hope I presented the game well. I loved it. I really think it's got a lot of potential here. And Lord Zamoa says direct engine hit is a special lucky dice roll. Oh, very cool. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Dogs of War. I appreciate that. Now, Muso is going to put some links down below. I will, of course, put my link as well. And I really appreciate you guys stopping by. This is definitely a game that I hope that we'll be playing some more in the future. And I have to say, I'm a little ashamed to admit that I really like the Messerschmitt planes. I know I'm supposed to be on the good guys' side. I know I'm supposed to, support the RAF here, but I gotta say, those Messerschmitts, they are fun to use, and I love the cannon and machine gun on those things. Just absolutely a death dealer. All right, guys, take care. Thank you, and have an awesome day.